Mr. Speaker, will you please call the House to order?
The bill is passed.
We'd like to get a budget that represents the interests of the people who are standing here with me now.
To be part of the struggle to achieve a better society for all.
Hello everyone, I'm Assemblyman Santabarbara and welcome to this edition of Assembly Update. I'm very pleased today to have two friends of mine from back home in the Schenectady Capital Region area, and they're both with the Capital Region Chamber. Mark Egan, who is the President and CEO, and Tom O'Connor, who's the Vice President of Government Relations. We see you up here at the Capitol quite a bit, and I'm very happy to have you both on the show today, and we're going to be talking about a number of programs, maybe an overview, but particularly I want to talk about what's called UMAC, Unified Military Affairs Council, and some of the work you're doing in the Capital Region to support military families. So welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us, and thanks for all that you do, and you have served in our military as well.
Thanks for that. And I know I was excited to attend our Honor and Serve breakfast, which is part of this program, part of supporting this program. And over the years, we've heard the term UMAC, which is an acronym, but it's really about supporting Capital Region military families, and the programs that go into it are very important to serving that mission. We were able to talk about some funding that we actually secured out of the state budget this year to support that program, because the program has gone on for so long and we wanted to make sure it continued. And it was great to meet you guys up at Stratton Air Force Base and to make that presentation. It was something that I think the region really appreciated, and those attending the Honor and Serve breakfast really appreciated it as well.
You could see it on the smile on the faces, and when you say that you're supportive, and then you actually hold up that check, it really makes a big difference.
It's serving an important mission, but let's talk about UMAC. Let's talk about what it is. How actually this has a history to it. It wasn't always called UMAC.
Right. So it was actually back in 2003 that it was formed as, then it was SMAC instead of UMAC, which was the Schenectady Military Affairs Council, and really the reason it got created. Chuck Steiner, and some of your listeners remember Chuck. You knew Chuck well. Is our former president, and Chuck came to us by Niagara Falls, and he had gone through an experience out there where their base was looking at as potentially being closed. So some listeners might be familiar with what's called BRAC, a Base Realignment and Closure Act. Every once in a while, the Department of Defense does this, where they look and say, do we have more military installations and bases in the country than we need? And usually those communities that lose are the communities that really aren't prepared. Yeah. So really the foundation for creating SMAC, which became UMAC, because it was really Chuck's recognition that yes, we want to pay attention to the Stratton Air Base, and that it really is our prime focus in many cases. We also want to support the other installations throughout the Capital Region. So that was really how it got started.
We're going to talk about Capital Region Military Day in a second here, but we have that event to bring awareness to things like this. And there, as you said, it's not just the one base, but there's a number of military installations that really contribute to our economy, and that's what we talk about on Capital Region Military Day, that how those are local jobs, local families, people that live here, people that contribute to everything we see in the Capital Region.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's amazing the economic impact of all these bases, and I think that as folks who live in our community, oftentimes we overlook it. Other than maybe you might see a plane in the air, you don't realize all of the members of the military, or even those who are civilians that serve on the guard, and what it means to our economy, but what it means to our security, our national security. So really through UMAC, what we do is we have what we call a steering committee, and Tom, who is our VP of Government Relations, served as our main staff person who works with this sort of steering group, which is made up of all of the commanders, as well as some of their staff, along with business and civic leaders. And it's really to your point, Assembly Member, that what can we do to support them? because they can be sort of islands within our community. So how do we create communication between them? But then when they have needs that oftentimes maybe they don't have the solutions there, or they can't fund it through the budget, that's where, again, for us having a UMAC budget, it provides us some of that flexibility to be able to execute on their behalf.
And the chamber I think is involved in the economy in general, and businesses and small businesses. And I think this is a good fit. And there's a need there, and the chamber is stepping up to fill this need, and it's great that it's come along so far. And you also have, besides funding, that you seek funding from all sorts of different areas of our community. I know at the Honor and Serve breakfast, Tom, we had a number of sponsors there too.
Correct.
But people contribute to this because they believe it's an important mission. It's an important thing to serve.
Correct. We do have, and we're fortunate enough to have chamber members who see the UMAC role as very important to the Capital Region and to our community. So we do get sponsorships, Price Chopper Market 32, Marshall and Sterling, and others that will put money into this effort. And it's important in terms of being prepared for a future BRAC, but also we're codependent, and we have a military community, a civilian community, but they interact a lot more than people would think. You look at the 109th, they're guardsmen, they're airmen at that base, and they don't live on that base. They interact with their community. They're teachers, there's doctors, there's mechanics. Their kids go to school in our school districts. They support our local economy. They're part of our community. So to be in a BRAC position and have something like the 109th being discussed, which it was in the past, about possibly losing that mission, that is like a large company possibly moving out of this region, and we do not want to do that.
And in terms of the program itself, UMAC, what are some of the ways? What are some of the ways you support military members in our community?
Maybe I'll start with a couple, and Tom, please jump in as well. That one of the areas that we call family readiness grants. And all of us, and unfortunately, oftentimes when it happens, it's when all of a sudden a member of the military that either they or one of their loved ones maybe has a terminal illness. And all of a sudden, they're spending a lot of time driving back and forth they might be they might have a son or a daughter, say at Sloan down in the city. Well, all the hotel bills, all the food bills, there's not money for that. Right. So that's where they'll apply to us for a grant. Sometimes we use our direct funds, but then if it's, say, an example where they could be someone from outside the immediate area and they're, say, at the Children's Hospital at Albany Med, well, then we've contacted the nearby hotel and say, would you either comp a room or a room that would have been $150? What if it's $50 a night instead, and we pay the $50? Right. So those are examples of what we call sort of family readiness. Yeah. Or to Tom's comment, these folks have kids. Right. And, so this year at Halloween, most people are familiar with these trunk or treats that now happen.
Oh, yes.
So we're the ones who supplied all the candy for the kids to have. Yeah. Because, again, there's not a line in a military budget that says, let's buy Halloween candy.
Right. And again, the families that can apply to this are military members in the entire Capital Region, not just, we're talking about, we talked about Stratton a few times, but there's other bases that can apply for this in the entire region.
Correct. As long as you're located within the Capital Region. And we do have installations all over the region. Saratoga, Schenectady, Waterville. So as long as you're within the Capital Region and you're a member of the military family, you can apply. We also have educational scholarships. We have scholarships for veterans. A veteran who wants to start up a business. We have a boot camp. We can help with that tuition. So UMAC, while our main mission is to kind of highlight and make sure we're protecting the mission here, and installations here, we also have that partnership component where these men and women who serve are part of our community. We want to give them the support that they need.
And when you said the educational scholarship, so that's whether it's someone in the service or again their son or daughter who's applying to college, they're eligible. We this year I forget if it was either 2 or 3 $2,000 scholarships that we provided for their higher education for them or members of their family.
And it's important that these families see the support from the community. And I think we, on top of everything we're talking about, economic dollars, you're right. They serve a mission. It is a military installation. It's a piece of our nation's entire military operations and forces that protect our country.
Well, and the other thing that maybe Tommy can touch on at the steering committee meetings, again, the communication between the participants.
Yeah.
And they might be having, either they're updating on what's going on in their base, but maybe a challenge that's going on. Or they have folks who are going to be leaving the military, and how do we help connect them to jobs? Maybe talk about some of the topics that you guys discussed.
And it's really connecting the civic leaders with our military commanders. You look at Schenectady, and we have the 109th. We also have Clarkson's graduate school, their Schenectady campus. We were able to connect the dean with the wing commander. So there's now a relationship where recruiters from the 109th can go to the graduate school, and Clarkson can go to the base to say, hey, if you're thinking of going to graduate school, either during your time of service or after, think of Clarkson, which is important to the region because we want to make sure that our men and women are supported, but when they do transition out of the military, that they're equipped to join the private sector economy.
That's wonderful to see those partnerships formed and maintained, and it's important it makes our community stronger. That's really what it means. And to that, we mentioned some of the military installations, Water Vliet, the Armed Forces Recruiting Center in Schenectady, the one in the Army Reserve Center in Niskayuna, the Naval Operational Support Center in town of Glenville. So these are all military installations that people may or may not know about. Sometimes you're right, people are unaware that they are in our community. But to find out more about UMAC and maybe Capital Region Military Day again here at the Capitol, where can people visit the Chamber website?
Yes.
Can you let's just give out that website real quick?
Sure. It's capitalregionchamber.com.
Great. And if you click on the advocacy button, you'll see a UMAC tab from there.
Great. And people can also contact my office, and I hope that we have the event, and I'll certainly be talking about it if we do in 2023. Let's look forward to that. And I want to take this opportunity to thank all those that serve in our Capital Region military installations here in the Capital Region and across the country for that matter. Thank you for your service, and thank you to the Chamber for continuing this program. This supports our military members and their families. I think it serves a vital purpose. You'll always have my support, and hopefully we can garner more support here at the state capitol and serve to support this important program in the Capital Region.
Well, it's our honor because, again, they play such an important role. You think to that breakfast, and when we have the ceremony where we honor those that provided the ultimate sacrifice for our nation. Whatever we as a community can do to support. So thanks for your support.
Thank you. Thanks for being on the show. Join us again here on Assembly Update. We'll be talking about more programs like UMAC and the Capital Region Chamber. Thank you, and we'll see you on the next episode of Assembly Update.